I didn't see you there. My view was being obstructed by my new bundles. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Jackie Aina, and I'm serving you with some Justine Skye realness today. No, honestly, I literally took Justine Skye's picture to the Virginaire Fantasy. I literally said, this is what I want. 2017, in case you have not noticed by the platinum that I was wearing in 2016, but I'm slowly transitioning into like new bundles who this type of swag, you know? I just want to do everything that I never really had the guts, or I get so stuck in like natural hair colors or even like honey blondes and just like regular colors, and I just want to do something different. So you're gonna see a lot of different here on the channel. If you don't like it, it's not gonna change my mind. I love the color. They did an amazing job, and like I said, the Virginaire Fantasy, Nigerian owned, whoop de whoop. I love supporting my people. They have good quality products to back it up, so anyway, I just felt the need to address the elephant in the room because I know you guys are going to ask. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite foundation line for women of color. Last year I did a roast video on the worst foundation lines of women of color, so I had to balance it out and give you guys the best of both worlds. I'm not going to give you the worst without giving you the best, so here we are. I also made it a point to include foundations that aren't necessarily my favorites, but I wanted to talk about them because they have diverse shade ranges for women of color. Even though they don't work for my skin type, they're definitely still lines and products that I want you guys to check out, just in case that is a product that may cater to your skin type. First thing I'm gonna mention is actually a foundation kit, and this is the AJ Crimson Artist Kit. They come as individuals, they come as pro palette. They are cream based, so in my opinion, they're not the best for my skin type, but I still use them for like contouring and stuff like that, but it's just the foundations themselves. They're very hydrating, they're very moisturizing. I don't need no hydration or no moisturization situations. I think that if you're looking for a line that is for normal to like drier skin types and you need that in between diverse line of foundations, definitely check this out. A lot of pros use them too, and I just really think that you guys should check them out. So my foundations with the least amount of coverage, I usually will go typically for like a cushion foundation. The first cushion foundation I ever tried was from Lancome. That was the Miracle Cushion. In my opinion, it is light to buildable. A lot of people consider this just plain light, and ultimately, obviously, it just depends on what condition your skin is in. This is a great, in my opinion, every day when you don't really want all the bells and whistles of like full on cake. I can do cake, you feel me? But I'm not necessarily looking to be caked up when I'm going to Whole Foods. Do you feel where I'm coming from? I love the fact that it's water-based. Mind you, by the way, I have oily combination skin. We will get into why that is important later. That's very important. I feel like it's a lot harder to find foundations that stay put on our skin type versus like dry skin. You put it on, it's matte for hours, even if it's not necessarily formulated matte. So anyway, I like this foundation. It works great with the Makeup Forever primers. It works great with, I'm not really particularly fond of their primers. I feel like they are more suited for like normal to like drier skin types. Lots of great shades, and it's one of the few cushion foundations on the market that actually makes more than 10 shades. That's sad that I have to praise a brand for actually making more than 10 shades. Woo! Out of all my foundations, that has the least amount of coverage. So now I'm going to move into the medium category. These are foundations that I consider strictly medium, not really buildable. They're just plain, just medium. Like no matter how much I pack it on, it still gives me the same amount of coverage, and it's usually just flat out medium. I wanted to throw in a powder foundation. This is the Iman Luxury Press Powder. I use the color Earth Medium. It could be the wrong color. I don't know. Drugstore doesn't let me try things out, but you know what? It works. I don't look like Lord Voldemort when I take a picture with Flash. How you doing? That's all that matters. This is a nice amount of coverage. I love wearing this on top of liquid foundations because it adds just a teensy bit more coverage. I have been a huge fan of this foundation ever since it started making waves on YouTube a couple years ago, and that is the Black Opal True Color Pore Perfecting Liquid Foundation. This is an amazing foundation. However, it is strictly a winter formula. It is very hydrating, very moisturizing. So if you have dry skin, you probably are going to love this all year round. Not one of, in my opinion, the most long wearing. I think I can get a good, depending on the primer I use and if I set it really well, I can get a good like 5-6 hours. After that, it does kind of start to move around a little bit, a little moving and shaking, a little twerking and baking. You know, not, you don't, there's a lot of things that twerking is acceptable in a lot of different scenarios. Your foundation should not be twerking after hour 5 or 6, you know, but it's just that formula. It's that very hydrating, moisturizing formula, but the finish is beautiful. It is probably the most true to color, like best matching foundations I own. The color I use is Eau Chocolat, but there was another color that I was using. I think I ran out of it, or I think I gave it away. I don't know, I can't find it, but I love this foundation. Oh, random side note, if you have not tried the Cover FX Custom Blot Drops, if you have oily combination skin, this will take your winter foundations and make them wearable all year round, because it literally is designed to be used with products to mattify them. And these two work really, really well together. I like products like these because it kind of makes products that you can't necessarily wear all the time wearable all the time. And their blot job, like the whole cover effect system is just genius. This is just one of the products that I'm a huge fan of. I use this with my foundations that aren't necessarily the most mattifying, just to kind of, you know, tone them down a little bit, take them from 10 down to 5. You know, you're a little too shiny. The Maybelline Matte Poreless really stepped it up, adding extended shades this year. It's probably one of the few, in my opinion, drugstore foundations, at least for my skin type, that actually has a diverse line of shades. Honestly, looking at my table, this is the only, sadly, one of the only drugstore foundations that I'm mentioning, and I'm just the messenger, you guys. This video is about best foundations for women of color. So if there's nothing out there at the drugstore, then I can't feature it. And I think that Maybelline is one of the few, and I commend them for that, that's actually adding in between more extensive shades. They still could, again, use some work, but they're one of the few that's actually like stepping it up. Between you and me, don't tell nobody though, between you and me, I got a little message from a little birdie that said that they are expanding all of the foundation shade ranges. I don't have further details yet. I probably shouldn't have even told you that. Companies, take notes, okay? If your products don't exist, because apparently women of color don't buy makeup, but if your products don't exist, then how we gonna buy them? Just saying. I get a little turned up because they really try to play us and say that women of color don't buy makeup. But if it doesn't exist, then how are you? Even my wig is wondering. Anyway, moving forward, the NARS Sheer Glow. I actually probably could have put this in the medium buildable category. This is my right now favorite foundation. It's my favorite foundation. It's everyday wearable. I can wear this during the day. I can wear this during the nighttime. Excellent amount of coverage. It is not glowy. The title is just, I don't know. Francois NARS, why did you call this sheer glow? It's definitely not sheer, and it's definitely not glowy. I think this is like the perfect foundation. This is probably one of the only foundations on the market that, in my opinion, works for like every skin type. Dry, normal, combination, and oily, depending on how you prime. Priming is everything. Priming is everything. They tend to run on the golden, neutral, olive side, and your girl's golden. So I'm always looking for stuff that's not pink and not red, and that's what NARS gives me. I'm not particularly fond of this foundation, but if we're talking about foundation lines that are diverse and great for women of color, I feel like there's two types of people, okay? All Day Luminous Weightless and NARS Sheer Glow. I'm Sheer Glow. A lot of my girlfriends are Luminous Weightless and swear by it, but what I like about this, and I'm not a fan of the formula. I went out recently, purchased another one because I'm gonna give it a try again. I'm gonna try it with different primers and play around. That's another one of those things where I see a great range of different skin types talking about it. Dry, combination, and oily. So honestly, give it a shot for yourself and see how you like it. The next foundation that I want to talk about, I would consider medium to buildable. So I can either get just medium coverage from them, or I can build them up all the way to full. I have two ride or die stick foundations because I feel like all the other stick foundations are just a little too moisturizing, a little too hydrating. So the two that I've just like been standing for all came out last year. The Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Stick Foundation. I love this foundation, but I feel like I've been seeing mixed reviews on them, or is it just me? Either people really don't like it or they like love it. I happen to be a lover. I think that this is the perfect everyday. I go back and forth between Miracle Cushion Everyday and Ultra Wear Stick. I think this one has a nice, velvety satin finish. It dries down to, it just beautiful, beautiful. I consider a line diverse if they have a shade that I can contour with, because my skin is dark. So if you have something that gives me enough depth to create shadow on my complexion, then I can fools with you. And the second foundation that I want to talk about, which also came out last year, it is the Hourglass. This is the Vanish Stick Foundation, and they claim they have not had a non-match on any, like all the case studies they did, they claimed that they didn't have anyone that didn't have a match. That's a pretty loud horn to toot, Hourglass, and I commend them because Hourglass at one point was known for like one of the least diverse lines. So I'm glad that they stepped it up, and I really, really, really like this foundation. The shade that I use is, I believe, Golden Almond. It's called Golden Almond. I've noticed that this line carries both golden undertones and cool undertones. Side note, I also contour with espresso, so shout out to you, Hourglass. I see you. The Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation came out, I want to say the year before last. This was the revamped, repackaged version of the HD foundation that they came out with. Everyone swore by the HD foundation, and I just thought it was it was cute. I don't know what it was about the Ultra HD. I think it was a little bit thicker in formula, not necessarily in coverage, because I felt like the coverage was still the same. But I felt like this one, I don't know what the differences were, but I knew that I could feel it and I could see it. In my opinion, I just felt like the old formula was a little watery, not enough coverage. I don't mind a light coverage foundation, but there's just something about finding that balance, and I feel like the Ultra HD has that balance, and it fills in the pores, girl, like pores. Rest in peace, pores. This is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra 24-Hour Makeup. What I like about this foundation not only is the shade ranges. By the way, I'm almost 99.78% positive they just added a couple, like maybe 8 more shades. So I know that they now have 30 or 40, and let me check my facts, okay, before I even. Okay, so Teint Idole now comes in 40 shades. I don't know of any other foundation line that comes in that many shades. That's a lot. And I actually took the time and looked, and I saw the in-between darker shades that they went ahead and added. And bravo to you, Lancome, because you guys are already killing the complexion category. But for them to go back and say, look, we're gonna add some more in-between shades. We're gonna just kill the game. We're gonna slay the game. This is a really, really great medium to full coverage foundation that's buildable, but not cakey. I don't think I've met a single person who does not like this. Teeth check, okay, I'm good. I don't think I've ever met a single person who does not like this foundation. It is beautiful, coverage is beautiful. Oh, the shade. The shade is literally like my skin graft put in a bottle, okay? Let's talk about full. These are not buildable foundations. These are full coverage, okay? Spackle, cake, boom, boom, bam, all right? Baskin Robbins. Estee Lauder Double Wear. Now, the first time I tried this, I did the most epic eye roll of this is not full coverage, okay? It's not full coverage. Then I took a picture and I was like, oh, it's full coverage. It's full coverage. Okay, this really kind of sneaks up on you because it's kind of on the watery side, but it's very, 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 very concentrated. It's almost kind of like using pure pigment. When that spring solstice hits, girl, and the sun starts shining and daylight savings, you know, days is longer and you outside, you playing, girl. Some foundations you can get away with kind of tweaking and bronzing around the perimeter because, you know, it's still your winter shade and it's starting to look ashy, but you know, you're gonna camouflage it. Not Estee Lauder, not Estee Lauder Double Wear. No, ma'am, Pam. When it is not your color, you will see it because it's that thick. She's thick, girl, but it's not thick on the, like, you don't, it's not a heavy foundation. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not heavy. It's very comfortable to wear, but the coverage is full. I know a lot of people still say it's not full coverage. Girl, it's full coverage. Is full coverage. Double Wear comes in a lot of shades, so I definitely want you guys to check that out. The Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation, I believe, comes in 30 shades, I think. I could be wrong. The color that I use is Deep 76 Warm. What I like is she has both cool and warm shades. Same as Estee Lauder Double Wear. They kind of carry a little bit of both. This is full on spackle. This foundation does not budge at all. If I need my foundation to look good, like if I'm at a shoot and I need it to look good for a long periodically time, Kat Von D, Auntie Kat, you did that, girl. Oh, I love the Urban Decay All Nighter. I love the Urban Decay All Nighter. Is this new? I don't know if this is new, you guys. I don't know if this is new or if this is just repackaged, but they just recently launched a really, really good amount of dark shades. The only problem I have is that it oxidizes, so it looks so good. It's like full coverage and it does not move. But in like an hour, it's a little orange. So what I'm gonna have to start doing is just going a shade up. And also these run a little bit more red. So if you are cool tone, if you're more on the pinky red side, you'll really, really like All Nighter. Like if Kat Von D Lock-It for whatever reason it's just not doing it for you, then I would say try All Nighter, because this is the same. It's kind of got that same formula. And the last foundation that I want to talk about today is the Cream of the Crop. I don't use this one as much because Black Up runs more cool, so more red and pink. The Full Coverage Cream Foundation, this is oil free and it is very, 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 very full coverage. It comes out like a gel, but it's in a tube bottle. I love the coverage of this. Beautiful amount of beautiful full coverage. Black Up Foundations is literally like the Black girl friendly version of NARS in Europe, and they brought the makeup here, and apparently it's been doing really, really well. And they have a really, really good diverse line of foundations, but they tend to run more on the cool side. So just a side note, if that's what your undertones are or what you're looking for in a foundation, then definitely check them out. All right guys, that brings my video to an end. I really hope that you found this video helpful. Definitely in the comments below suggest more lines of foundation that you would recommend that are diverse for women of color. Hopefully you found this helpful. If I didn't answer any questions in today's video, feel free to ask them down below. And while you're here, don't X out just yet. Check out some of my previous uploads. And in the meantime, hopefully you enjoy those too, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.